Okay guys, let's go over number 709 to lowercase. So we have to implement the function to lowercase that has string parameter, string is a string parameter, and returns the same string in lowercase. So obviously the goal of this problem is not to use to lowercase. We want to implement that. Alright, so we have our example, input hello, and output we want capital H to be lowercase h, right? So before solving this problem, we have to know one thing, and it's called ASCII, and this is like a standard uniform code for each characters. And I just, instead of going over the whole thing, I just wrote down a few things. So capital A has a code of 65, and capital Z has a code of 90. So, and lowercase a has code of 97, and lowercase z has a code of 122. So if we do 97 minus 65, the difference is 32, and if we do 122 minus 90, the difference is also 32. So we know that a plus whatever this code is, well, actually we actually know the code, plus 32 is going to give us a smaller lowercase a, and capital Z plus 32, whatever this code is going to give us a lowercase z. Okay, now let's implement our solution. Alright, so now let's code our solution. So we declare a function to lowercase which takes an string parameter. I'm just gonna make a variable named result, which is gonna be an empty string, and I'm gonna return our result here. And now we want to iterate through our string, so we're gonna make a for loop. Is less than string dot length and increment by 1 because we want to iterate through all of them. And I'm gonna make a variable named code, and that's gonna get the that's gonna get the code for the specific character. So char code at index I. So what this does is it's going to give us the code for each letter, and if we just print this code, just comment these out. This kind of repeats, but just look at the first few. So capital H has a code of 72, E has 101, L has 108, and O has 111. So these are the codes. Just wanted to show you guys that. And remember, if you look at our ASCII table, A starts at 65 and Z ends at 95, right? So that means that whatever the code that we get, if it's capital, it's gotta be between these two numbers. So let's create an if statement. So if code is greater than 64 and code is less than 91, we're going to increase the code by 32 because the difference between capital A and lowercase a is 32. So this gives us a lowercase version of the character. And what we'll do next is we're going to add to our result variable, so plus equals, and string dot from char code 32. So you see we get our result here, right? But let's check over this one more time. Char code at is a string method that's gonna give us some number, as you guys saw before. Console log code, we get a bunch of numbers, right? So like I said before, 72 is a capital H, and rest of them is lowercase letters. So since we know that capital is gonna be between these two numbers, 65 and 91, we're gonna check if it's a capital, and if it is a capital, we're gonna add 32, and that's gonna give us a lower case code for the string. And what we're doing here is result plus equals, we're adding to our result variable, and what we're doing here is changing the code, which is a number right now, into a string. So I think capital H was 72, so we're adding 32, that's 104, right? So 104 must be lowercase h. So we have 104 here as our code, and we're converting that code into a string. And after we're done with our for loop, we return our result. If we check our other examples, so we have here and lovely. Alright guys, let's go over our code one more time. So before before doing this, just go to Google and search this up, and you should get a long list of table that shows everything, not just alphabets, but a bunch of other symbols. But for this problem, you just need to know letters only, alphabets. Okay, so declare our function ToLowerCase, which takes in a string, and we declare a result variable, which is an empty string. And after we're done, we're gonna return that over here. So we make a for loop to iterate through all the characters in the string, and I just made a variable named code, and that's gonna get the character code at index I. So in the string method, right, and str is our parameter. So we have, if you were to look at number, let's do number 3 because this one has capitals. We have lovely, all caps, and the character code for capital A is, actually capital L is 76. And you find that out if you look at the table. And 76 is between 64 and 91, right? So that means that it is a capital. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 32, and that gives us 108. And if you look at the table again and look for 108, that's lowercase l. And when we get our code for 108, we put it in here, 108, and this is a string method. And if you do string dot from char code and pass in the code, you're gonna get that L, lowercase l, and we add that to our results variable. And we're gonna do that for all the characters. So we find the character code for O, add 32, we add 32 for all of them, and then convert it back to a character, and then we loop out of our for loop and return our result.